Alrighty. I actually got some time. I just got my copy of Epic Mickey for PC. It's actually sitting right next to me. I just I don't like that. They actually printed the Steam notification, like that it requires Steam to play. They actually printed that right on the collector's edition box, and I got copy number 821 of 5,000. Okay. I'm actually gonna I'm still gonna pick up my Xbox copy on the weekend. I actually managed to secure an Xbox copy. Need to pick it up locally. I'm a huge Mickey Mouse fan, so the only one I'm buying from my money. Because I do need to save money, obviously, as long as I don't have a job. Yeah, let's see. We're gonna talk to Sergeant.
Excuse me.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure.
I really wonder if I should like set up to life. Maybe the fan will not kick in as badly. I know you could probably hear like in the background, which is because my microphone is inside the laptop, obviously, and the laptop fan is really kicking in, so there's probably like some sort of bit of noise here. I got auto tab Discord, so let me start all tabs. I don't think I'm using a lot of like resources. You don't know what that is. Like just running OBS is really kicking the fans. Whatever.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume.
Is the word hired correct? Seems kind of weird. Why not call it? Why does he keep saying hired, not rented? I don't think you hire a costume. You hire a living person in a costume. You rented a costume. Kind of strange. Kind of a strange translation, to be honest. I don't know if that's like a regional thing, maybe. So today they actually got some really cool new games on Game Pass. They got Trials of Mana and Legend of Mana, which I already downloaded, and they got Wheel of Katamari. I believe it's the same version as the one on Switch, which I didn't buy a couple of years ago when I could have. So that's kind of cool. Right.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur.
But yeah, Game Pass is well worth it.
Stobart is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
Game Pass is well worth it. Usually the games they kind of announce beforehand are not that great, not that plentiful. But then they have
Hi,
like
Inspector, remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobart. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed, but I've been taken off the case.
What about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
Yeah, what was I saying? Um, um, the, uh, the Game Pass games are usually announced beforehand are not that great and plentiful, but there's like a lot of stuff just like randomly and surprisingly showing up. Like we got Age of Mythology and Mafia as a kind of like pre-announced thing, and I mean they're not bad games, but they're not. It's not a lot of games. It's just two really that were announced beforehand, and then today, I think today, they must have dropped these new games, which is kind of amazing. Like they got Legend of Mana now, and Trials of Mana, and Katamari, and a couple other games as well. So this is really cool. Really where it's really at.
What was that psycho detective business you did in the cafe?
It is my theory that the passions evoked in violent crimes create ripples in the ether, invisible to all but the possessor of a highly developed and receptive mind.
I'm impressed. Can you bend spoons, too?
I didn't think a man of your obvious intelligence would stoop to mockery.
I'm not mocking. I've had personal experience of the power of the mind. I used to get ignored at parties until I read a book that changed my life.
Really? What was it called?
Hypnotism for Fun and Profit. He looked at me as if I'd farted at a funeral.
The power of mesmerism is a rare gift, not a party trick.
You're not going to try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Let's just say I'd rather you didn't. I've got more doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an interesting subject under controlled regression.
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet.
The lighting differences are kind of interesting. I like the original didn't have really lighting at all. It's just kind of weird because I mean, even older LucasArts games totally flat. Maybe it just feels like there's definitely shadowing. And I just looking at the lamp to the. It's like the room is bright and then the rest is also bright, and I'm just noticing this little thing myself.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No, you must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobard.
Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantar.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
Yeah, and everything has shadows now. That's really cool. Like if you just look at the there's a little fan on the right. Has like a shadow. Pretty cool.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No.
It's the face of a killer.
The man who bombed the cafe?
The photograph was taken soon after the explosion. He'd escaped through the sewers, leaving a trail of clues behind him.
Circumstantial evidence, Stobard. None of it proves a thing.
Would you care to shake my hand, Inspector?
Please don't be offended if I decline your offer, Stobard. The palms of my hands are particularly sensitive.
I found this tissue in the sewer.
It would have been best if you'd left it there.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
I'd imagine it means you have not given up your pursuit of the clown.
You're absolutely right. What do you make of this, Rosso?
It is a tool for gaining access to sewers.
So long, Inspector. Excuse me.
What do you want now?
Would you like to shake my hand, Sergeant?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur. The gesture could be misconstrued.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur.
It's the guy who bombed the cafe. The clown.
This man looks nothing like a clown.
He's taken off his grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing? Look at those
Okay,
murderous
we've already done
eyes.
these.
Hardly likely to get him convicted.
Okay.
See you later, Sergeant.
Nothing I can do here. Can I go back to Larry's? No. Closed? Maybe it's night now. Hotel Ubu. Ubu. Oh yeah, that was a different. These look like gangs.
The sign listed the price of rooms, and boy, were they expensive. The killer must have been earning a fat wad to pay for accommodation like this. The lobby was quiet, almost deserted.
He's supposed to be here. I don't even remember now. Wait, I don't think I ever finished it. Something that crashed my computer. I could never finish it as a kid. That was like later in the game. Bean or somewhere. It was really late. Interesting, they removed the fish. Which, quite honestly, and this is rather faithful. There was a lot of like artifacting on these. Must look like they were 3D models in a way. Really were. Sort of animation, really. Look much nicer. Even though there's a difference, here's like wind, and here's absolutely no wind. The original kind of looks.
The man looked like an amiable Bigfoot. The guy looked just like a weasel. Excuse me.
Yes?
Have you heard of a guy called Plantar?
No. That name means nothing to me.
Oh, Italian.
I'm looking for a clown.
Are you trying to be funny?
No, I really am looking for a clown.
There are no clowns here except you.
Do you know a man by the name of Khan?
No, I don't.
It's very important I get to see him, and
I told you. I don't know it.
will you shake my hand?
Are you joking? Who knows where it has been?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
No, I never saw it.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Are you serious?
Oh, yes. Take a good look at the substance it's smeared with.
You are sick. Very sick.
Have you ever seen this clown's nose before?
No.
I don't think I've done all of these in the original
What does
game.
this tool suggest to you?
Hard labor.
Forget it.
The new scenery is really a beauty. Talk to this.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Do you happen to know a guy named Khan?
That ain't nobody I know.
I'm sorry to be a burden on your brain. You ever meet a guy called Plantow?
No, I ain't.
You missed your chance. If you're quick, you'll catch him at the coroner's. Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
No, I ain't. Don't tell me I miss him. Oh, that's too bad. I love the clowns, don't you?
I've seen daytime television that was funnier.
I love it when the little guys get hurt.
That figures.
Custard pies, hose pipe down the pants, then smack! A plank in the kisser.
I don't remember there being like Americans in this game, to be honest. And he kind of looked. Interestingly, he's like way smaller in the original, which doesn't make sense to me. I think this makes more sense having him bigger than the little guy. He looks more American now. The original, he looked just like an angry little Frenchman. So.
Shake my hand.
Nah,
Oh, rats.
Come on, dude.
Shake my hand.
nah.
Oh, rats. Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
Is this a trick question?
No, I simply asked if you recognized him.
Okay then. No, I don't.
Do you recognize this tissue? Think carefully now.
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
I'm gonna have to hurry you.
ooh.
Time's up, so I'll tell you. It's a used tissue with a liberal dump of Bestheimer's number 12.
If you say so.
Have you ever seen this clown's nose before?
Nope.
So this is kind of interesting.
What do these... Oh, never mind.
So when you go around talking,
See you later.
just
Not
about,
if you see me first.
the game kind of has like a makes George kind of come off like a autistic person, like the way he talks to people when he just talk to just about everybody, which you don't. But I kind of want to see everything in that game, so I'm gonna do that.
It was a magnificent old Steinway piano. I figured the lady at the keys wouldn't appreciate a duet with a musical illiterate like me.
Yeah, this game's definitely, this scene is definitely, holy heck, it has earned a lot of atmosphere just by looking at the windows and everything. It's way better looking.
The figure of a sexless youth was frozen in mid-skip with a silly grin on its stone lips.
Talk to the professor. Or maybe we'll talk to him now.
I recognized the guy. It was the Nobel Prize winner from the country whose name I couldn't pronounce.
Let's talk to him.
Excuse me, didn't I see your picture in the news? You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes, that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life?
He's
You know,
like-
mysterious
he's
phone
like
calls,
smart.
letters made up
I
of
mean, he's
headlines cut
smart.
from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe it's the perspective. Maybe they changed that. They realized that when you perspective correct things, he should be smaller looking. Yeah, he definitely looks like George is the same size as before, but like the professor is way smaller.
Do you know a guy called Plantow?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have. Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from Imclot, Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure and a comfort to wear, with much support.
I'm real glad to hear that. You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
When you just said, I'm glad Nobel Prize winners are humans too, that reminded me of that one channel, Programmers Are Humans Too.
May I shake you by the hand?
I do not shake the hands of imperialist dogs.
Now that's a real bad attitude problem you've got there. Do you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective. This is a photo of Khan, right?
That is just one of the names by which he is known.
Does this goo-smeared tissue mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
What does this clown's nose suggest to you?
In my country, we have no use for clowns.
I'm glad to hear it.
They were dealt with most severely in the last cultural cleansing.
What about the mimes? Did you get them too?
All gone. Our streets are mime-free.
Sounds like heaven. Have you any idea what this tool might be used for?
I cannot guess.
Would it mean anything if I told you it was for lifting drain covers?
Such technology fills me with wonder.
What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people.
You know he's a killer.
Of course, amongst other things.
Would you help me investigate Khan?
That is not possible. My instructions are to observe. I cannot jeopardize my position as an honored guest of this country's government.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
I forgot that he was in it too. Yeah, they changed, they made him a lot smaller. Which actually makes sense now that I think about it. Like, perspectively, he's sitting. So if he stood up, he would be about way tall. Yeah, I think he would be probably taller, way taller than George. And the way he's now, he's pretty much the same height as George. Maybe slightly taller, maybe like, yeah, can't really show it. Maybe, yeah. Like, interesting detail.
The woman was obviously English. She had all the qualities of Boadicea, Elizabeth I, and Margaret Thatcher rolled into one. It wasn't a pretty sight. Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought, but never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
I'm looking for a murderer.
Good heavens! You're a private detective.
That's correct, ma'am.
What's the term you Americans use? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I believe what you're thinking of is Dick.
Precisely.
Have you come across a man who calls himself Khan?
I am familiar with only one person named Khan.
Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol barbarian chieftain?
No, darling. Kevin.
Kevin Khan? I never heard of him.
I'd be very surprised if you had, darling. He's a pharmacist in Hemel Hempstead. Organizes fundraising for the Rotarians. Lovely man.
Does he have a scar on his cheek?
I really wouldn't know, sweetie.
I think she's thinking of a different cheek.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him. That's Merlin.
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged. Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobart. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman. A man of honor. You know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantow's briefcase. Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
If I could get in there, I would. Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and bulges in their pockets. That doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You wouldn't be if you knew him, my dear.
This could
It
be my
gave me
mom
the
saying
opportunity to take a well-deserved holiday. Daphne suggested a change of scenery. Paris, she said. The wild romance is just what you need to take your mind off the inquest. Well, the closest I came to romance was being wooed by a drunken Breton chef. I must say I was disappointed with his coq au vin. Not at all what I was expecting. I was thinking of cutting my holiday short, packing my bags and heading back to Hemel Hempstead. That was until last night.
What happened to you last night?
I was stricken, Mr. Stobart. Cupid's arrow has cleft my bosom.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined it should be. The intimacy of candlelight. Romantic music tinkling across the room. And then, a stranger's glance. Those brooding eyes, that suave manner, those tight trousers. He was the man I'd been waiting for all my life.
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
Ah, but it wasn't to be. He was merely toying with my affections. And if I ever catch up with him, he's dead.
Do you know what this is?
Oh, yes, I'd say it was a clown's nose.
That's right. It was worn as a disguise by a vicious killer.
Ah, Mr. Merlin, perchance.
That's him.
Interesting, it does save.
Can you think of any use for this tool, ma'am?
Oh, I can think of someone I'd like to use it on.
Kind of interesting, that must be a hell to program all these dialogues. I still haven't really. I haven't really figured out how to do it in Scumsy yet. I haven't really had the time to look into it either. It shouldn't be too hard, but it's still like a lot of all this branching and stuff. A bit hellish.
Does this tissue mean anything to you?
Good God, no!
I just thought the smell might be familiar.
Please, darling, put it away. I'm no shrinking violet, but that object makes me feel quite queasy.
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling. He's the man I've been telling you about. That's the man who spurned me.
Would you like to shake my hand, ma'am?
Now, George, there's no need to be so formal. We met as tourists, and I want to keep it that way, despite the enormous social gulf between us.
I have to go, ma'am.
Here.
It was the register of guests staying at the hotel. There was no one registered under the name of Khan. If the killer was staying here, he'd used a different pseudonym.
We already know it's Merlin's.
The clerk wore a disdainful expression, like he'd been born with it. Hanging from a brass hook was a key and a plastic tag. I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats. About the key hanging on the hook over there.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Number 21.
Is that room taken?
No. The guests checked out this morning.
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
How come? You said it was vacant.
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
No, monsieur. Dutch.
Do you know a man named Plantow?
No, monsieur.
I'm looking for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
If you say so.
Yeah, the absence of light makes everything kind of dull looking in comparison to the original. And looking at these little like purple dots, I don't know what sort of purpose they are supposed to serve. It looks like it's badly scanned and then they didn't edit that part. I mean, just those were obviously hand drawn and scanned. But yeah, there's like no outside in the original. This looks so much nicer.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
Where do you know the name?
What do you make of this tissue?
Do you wish me to dispose of it for you, monsieur?
Hey, no! It could be useful. I'm holding on to this.
As you wish, monsieur. Perhaps you would like a little plastic baggie to keep it in?
Nah, it's fine the way it is. Do you recognize this red nose?
Non, monsieur.
What do you make of this tool?
Stunning, monsieur. I bet you handle it like a professional.
Hey, shake my hand.
I'd rather not, monsieur. I'm still sore from the shock administered by one of the guests. He was secretly concealing an electrical device in the palm of his hand. Practical jokes are so puerile, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Is he staying here as well? Is that why the shop is closed?
Thanks for your help, buddy.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
You were trying to steal that key, no?
No way. The door was locked. The sign on the door read 21.
That is the...
The door was locked. The door was locked.
Probably all. Can't even act.
Hello again. Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh no, it's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts on up?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
I'm actually hungry for lemon curds right now.
I say! You there? Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
There we go. That was easy. I'm actually getting hungry for some traditional English words. Gonna take another break. After we have been in that room. We didn't see what she looked like standing up. Yeah, old version. Oh yeah. Yeah. Guess we don't need to have a perfect.
Maybe it
comparison.
wasn't the right room, but this was the right key. There was nothing in the wardrobe apart from a vague, lingering smell of camphor.
something that stands out in the old version.
The cabinet was empty, but it smelled of onions. No kidding, it really did.
Oh, interesting. No stone. Oh, thank God. So no connecting door, we go straight out the window. Oh, there's another difference. The position of George is different. I kind of wonder how that works when which. I mean, this is a player character.
If I wanted my shins sticking out of my shoulders, I could have jumped. Mama Stobart didn't raise no suicidal fools, though.
Oh, okay. The angle's different. Okay. We are. Cabinet.
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
I'm coming. There were a couple times you could find again.
The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits. I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty.
Just take it with briefcase.
There was nothing in the pockets of the pants. The pants were newly laundered and pressed with immaculate creases. There was nothing in the pockets of the pants.
Why can't I close the ward? Oh, okay. I think something will happen. Bugs. There's something else. I think when I leave, try to leave. Yeah, there he goes.
I had the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the bathroom.
Oh, they changed the clothing of it.
I couldn't believe my luck when I found two items in the pockets of the pants. The first was an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. The second was a pass card which read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Okay, I think now we can actually buy. Let me see. What happens when I go outside? I think I have to. Oh no. Oh, never mind. It works.
The door was locked. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I got the key. Thanks for your help.
Do I not have to place it again? Weird.
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. I found this matchbook in Merlin's bedroom.
It came from the Club Alamut. It might be useful to find out if that club is in Paris, George.
I have to go, ma'am.
The gate probably knows about the club element.
Hello again.
Yeah, the character looks very different. Like the height is so different. He's like he feels more like a small man here, and here like this really tall guy. Whatever.
Do you recognize this card?
No, I do not.
Does the name on this matchbook mean anything to you?
Indeed it does, for Alamut was the home of the old man of the mountains. You do not know him?
No, I don't. Tell me again about Alamut.
It is the home of the old man of the mountains.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
What now, monsieur?
He has something in his ears. I wonder if that was an addition or if that was also in the original.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe I can live with that.
He would normally call the police in real life.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
What happens if I quite literally show him the friggin' key, that I have the key? Is he gonna be okay with that?
What now, monsieur?
Do you recognize this key?
That is the property of the Hotel Ubu.
Correct.
May I ask how it found its way from the little hook to your pocket?
Would you believe it was put there by a poltergeist?
No, monsieur. The hotel is regularly serviced by an exorcist. If we had a ghost, Father Fécond would have flushed it out.
I suppose you want the key back.
Not spécialement. The room is vacant. Since you are so determined to conduct your little investigation,
What?
I won't stop you.
That's unrealistic. Come on.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
I just read something on the news about DHL going into high-rise buildings again. Oh wow. So DHL stopped all deliveries to a particular building to a particular high-rise building in Duisburg, Germany. Apparently it was really nasty there. Now they kind of resumed it, even though it's kind of dangerous for the people working at DHL.
Just a minute, monsieur.
They are
What's your
gangsters.
problem?
No problem. If you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch!
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Randir, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Fleck.
Yep, they are criminals.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Don't you think you have some explaining to do?
Huh?
I'm an American citizen and a bona fide visitor to your country.
What the...
You can't touch me up in the street and expect to get away with it.
Get lost, creep.
That's not your country. He's definitely not French. The hell.
Hey, Shorty. Do you know a guy called Merlin?
No.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
It is just a matchbook. Why should I recognize?
Forget it.
Let's see. Usually, hold on. I'm gonna go back.
I found the address of the hotel where Khan the Killer stayed.
Yeah? Is he still there?
If he is, he's changed his name.
Merlin. You know that now. Were these dialogues added later? Not really.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, George.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking? Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clown's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
I love the new details. Like this cat pillow is awesome, and the vinyl records are awesome, and photos, everything is really awesome. There's negatives hanging there now instead of just developed photos. Pretty cool.
I found this in the killer's room.
What is it, a credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut.
Never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue, a name or an address. That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir. Hey, Nico, shake hands with me.
No chance, Buster.
Not falling for that.
Maybe not.
So here he says maybe not, and he shows it to the friggin' hotel clerk.
May I use your telephone?
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks.
That makes no sense, guys.
No point in phoning that guy again.
Yeah, again, I love how this design is. This was definitely a real envelope. You can tell. Wait, now I can get out.
See you later.
Where are you going now?
I could go back to the Hotel Ubu, I guess. Whatever those two thugs are after must be important.
He never even mentioned the friggin' two thugs to her, so why? There's a lot of inconsistencies in the game that I never noticed as a kid. Or maybe I did notice and forget about, so fuck you.
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
It was about the Alamo.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, but I can tell you one thing. There's no such place as the Club Alamu in Paris.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about this security pass?
I can tell it doesn't belong to you.
How come?
Give me some credit. If you're an electrician, I'll eat my antirhymes.
You're a remarkably talented lady. See you later.
That's right, monsieur. You will.
Hmm. Maybe I need to go back to the maybe inside. Maybe up here. No, I don't think so. That is strange. Okay, by the way. Maybe I need to get into the safe. Yeah, that might be enough. Maybe she can help me again. Maybe repeat previous scene, basically.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
That gangster I told you about? He went through my pockets just now.
Good heavens! One never knows what to expect in foreign parts. Thank you for the warning, young man. I shall hide my credit cards in my underwear.
Not.
I have to go, ma'am.
I can't reach. Let's go upstairs again.
The door was locked. The door was locked.
I have to go over there again. There's something.
If I wanted my shins sticking out of my shoulders, I could have jumped. Mama Stobar didn't raise no suicidal fools, though. The cobbles of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard.
There.
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
Only the friggin'.
There was nothing else in the pockets of the killer's pants.
I remember that part being weird as a kid. Well,
I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty. The interior of the closet was large enough for me to climb right in.
No. This was a confusing part as a kid as well. I think I can. Oh, no.
It wasn't the right key for the door.
I think there is something in Hotel Ubu that I have to go to. I just don't know how to get to it.
There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
Yeah, I don't know.
What now, monsieur?
I've just been manhandled by a gorilla.
Yes? I do not see any signs of a gorilla.
No, not a real gorilla. It was a guy who looked like a gorilla. It happened right out front of this building.
Let me get this quite clear. Are you complaining or bragging?
I want to know what you're going to do about it. The scrawny one has a gun.
I suggest you contact the police.
Can't you do anything about them?
What goes on in the streets of Paris is hardly my responsibility.
Aren't you concerned that your guests are being intimidated by gangsters?
No one else has complained, monsieur? Did they steal anything from you?
Well, no. They didn't find what they were looking for.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't think they did either. Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
Weird. I can call the police. Maybe I should go to the police station now.
No point in phoning that guy again.
Oh. Maybe.
Bonjour, Kula.
Hi, it's George. I have the address of the killer's hotel.
If you're going to pay him a visit, take care. Remember, that guy's a professional.
Thanks. I'll be fine.
Okay. There's so many scenes that don't make sense. I'm gonna take a short break though. Get me some lemon curds. See ya.